Good morning, friends. I hope you all are doing okay. I'm hanging in there. As you know, I'm still out of town for a little while. But in a few days or so, we should be back to our normal place, which is CHATEAU in Western Kenya. So if you're joining us for the first time, I'm a Kenyan American who is working to return permanently to the village. And in doing so, I help folks with real estate matters. I help people with construction. If you're interested in things of that nature, you can reach me out on the number that I've posted, and we'll be more than happy to connect you with architects, builders, designers, and things like that. Now, I'm about to talk your ears off as always, and I will not disappoint. But before that, I want to recognize a really important event that happened today. And if you're watching this video any other time, this is May the 29th, 2025. And I think we just lost Ngugi Thiong'o yesterday. And he's been living in Irvine, which is just a few minutes away from our home in Long Beach. I met him a few years back, but my condolence to his family, my condolence to those who have cared for him and for his work. Ngugi Thiong'o is such a large presence in the Kenyan community, both politically, in academia, and in so many other circles. And so his passing is both celebratory because he's led a full life, but it's also a signal of an end of a major era. I was introduced to Ngugi Thiong'o in college when I was an undergrad, learning to become a teacher, and that's when I ventured into everything he's ever written, devoured it. He really changed or shaped the way I think about the world, especially the relationship between being an African in relation to connecting with the Western culture. And so my condolence to the family. So join me. Let's watch what's going on at my friend's house, and I hope you'll get entertained. Karibuni. All right, let's go. Now, as you can see today, we're going to switch gears a little bit and showcase one option for returnees who don't want to deal with the mess that is building in the village. Folks who just want to come home, get their keys and get in and just live. So we'll have continued conversations about this topic, but today I just want to show you one example of a way to get around having to build from scratch. Welcome to the village, folks. If you're joining us for the first time, this is Wono Daily channel. Typically we film from CHATEAU, which is in Kisumu, a town in Western Kenya. But today, we are actually filming from Rift Valley, which is one of the most beautiful corners of Kenya. When you think about the weather, the nature, the greenery, access to amenities, government services, Rift Valley is probably one of my most favorite areas, besides, of course, CHATEAU, which is my home. So I'm filming at a friend's home. This is a really good friend of mine who lives in the US, but has done a really, really good job setting up different properties in Kenya. And so she called me and sent me a few pictures, and I was like, hey, let me check out what she's been up to in this corner of Rift Valley. Like I said, she lives in the US and has a few projects. And the home you're looking at is literally the definition of ultra mega mansion in the village. First time I actually saw this home in person, I was just completely floored because looking at the size, the beauty, the outdoor space, kids, entertainment and play areas, I was just really, really shocked at how much he was able to do within this space. But I was mostly shocked because I assumed that my cousins from the Rift Valley don't usually care for mega mansions. I was wrong. And it's possible maybe these kinds of structures are out there, but this is the first one I'm seeing outside Kisumu. So honestly, while coming here, in my mind, I was expecting something. I was expecting something a lot more tame than what I found. In fact, unfortunately, I got so carried away, I barely recorded much. So what you're seeing really is not even 40% of what you'll find on the ground. Now, like I said, the most surprising thing is that my friend is actually building an even bigger home. So this is just really not even enough for her. Shock on me. Again, this is not what I was expecting in this part of town, but I guess you live and learn. So I think this property is probably going to be good for a person who really loves outdoor spaces. There's lots of chill spots, excellent lawn, well done, space for kids. In fact, you'll see towards the end, she actually imported playground features for kids, which are really, really well done. And of course, if you're a person who loves entertainment, folks who typically have guests, this would be a really good property for you because there's lots of features that cater to things like that. I'll show you the specs shortly. And then, of course, this property is really good for people who don't mind temperate climate because this area in general, I've been told all year round, is always cool. So if that weather is fine for you, then this is good. Now, this is also another really good opportunity for folks who don't mind mixing gardening, animals, and having private space because she's done the layout so well that you could easily have your animals, do your gardening, and still have the space that does not have any of that, given the size of the land. And of course, people who enjoy being off grid, this space is 100% off grid. And then security, you'll see 2 layers of fences that are all. The first one is actually live. I mean, it's bougainvillea fence, I believe, and then inside she's got electric fence. So anyway, all that aside, let me give you the specs for this particular building. Number one, this is an 8,050 square feet building. Has 2 indoor garage. The attached garage, but outside she has a space for probably at least 30 cars. And that's one of the reasons I say it's a very good property for people who entertain a lot. The main house has 6 bedrooms, 6 bath, 4 living room spaces, 3 dining areas, 2 kitchen, and one of them actually has access to the outside. All bedrooms are en suite. Master bedrooms have private exits. 5 bedrooms have huge closets. And the main living room area actually has, I think, a dining room attached to it with a 20 feet high ceiling. And the chandelier that is in there is about 10 feet itself. Trust me, folks, this house is stunning if you see it in person. The camera really does not do it justice. She's got a fish tank, 3 fireplaces, 2 TVs, 2 fridges, a sizable laundry area. She's got CCTV mounted. And when you go on the outside, she does have like staff quarters that I believe is sectioned into multiple sections. She has like 3 separate sections that has a total of 9 bedrooms. And of course, the outside also has bathroom stalls. I believe there's probably about 5 stalls with 1 shower. And then when you get to the gazebo itself, to me, I think this was one of my favorite areas. You'll see it again towards the end. The gazebo is fully furnished and it's about almost a 20 feet diameter. It's really huge with a fireplace, and it has like 3 stall toilets, very high table, and it's fully landscaped. And the flowers, this is actually one of the things I'm taking away from her home. Whoever did her landscaping and the flower work was just on another level. And that's why I think maybe I'm going to have to do a separate video to show you the other pieces, because as I was talking and capturing stuff, I realized the footage I have is so long that it's almost impossible to fit it in one video. So I'm hoping maybe in the next couple of days or weeks, I'll show you another video with different areas of the home. But the outside is really well done. And by the way, almost every single thing you see in this house, she imported from the US. There's probably just a few things here and there that she bought locally, but for some reason, she decided to import furniture, appliances, and every single thing. So if you're a person who cares for that, then this might be a good thing for you. And just like I've done in my home too, she's got a mix of flower, ornamental trees, she's got fruits, she's got vegetable gardens. And this is where I think folks who care for homesteading would really fit into this kind of property. And now, if you move within the neighborhood, as I mentioned earlier, this property is anywhere between Eldoret and Kapsabet. So folks who work in Eldoret would easily commute from this property. Folks who work in Kapsabet would do the same. The also nice thing about it is that there's lots of government institutions and universities. I don't know a lot about Kenyan universities, especially the newer ones. When I left Kenya, there were probably just about 5 universities in total. I mean, public universities. Now there's a ton of them out there. So I believe there should be one called Koitalel Arab Samoei University. There's like a teacher's college. There's a nursing school, and lots of educational institutions for people who have young kids and all that we saw around. Of course, shoppings, you have supermarkets and lots of other shopping opportunities for folks who obviously will need that if you're living here with your family. Now, the village, as is true with many, many Kenyan communities, there's lots of Christian churches. I don't know which is which, but it's not uncommon to find churches around here. But I don't think I saw a church right next to the building itself, which in some ways can actually be a good thing, because sometimes when you have a church very close to your home, then you might be dealing with a different set of problems, especially when the church next to your home is a different community than the one you attend. So sometimes those churches may have like night worships, weekend, all night worships, and that can be quite a challenge. And so I don't believe I saw a church very close to this building, but there are churches within the neighborhood for folks who care about that. Now, when I asked about crime, as best as they know, there's not been any reported incidences that anyone could mention recently. But like every other place, most villages are usually very safe, with a few exceptions, maybe minor stuff here and there, but nothing that I heard about. But we can ask more. And of course, this area of Rift Valley is fairly cosmopolitan. You'll find folks from all parts of Kenya, and there's also lots of people from other parts of the world too. So it's not just Kenyan living here. But what I found interesting while talking to my friend is that just within about maybe 5 kilometers or so, there's quite a few diasporans who have come back. And I think that's been that can be a really good thing, because those diaspora communities can be very helpful in helping folks integrating back. Personally, one of the things I enjoy the most is just sitting down and talking to folks who have returned, learning from their experiences. And I travel quite a bit. Anywhere I know there's a diasporan who's returned, I always make it a point to see them if they're open. And of course, not everybody is open to connecting with the diasporans, but there's quite a growing population of diasporans who have returned and are thriving back home. So my friend told me there's quite a few folks who have returned and live close by. And so if you're looking for a community to connect with, this would be one great place to check out. So as I mentioned earlier, my friend is developing a second property, which is way bigger than this. And I think maybe it's this Texas problem that is following her back to Kenya, where people simply believe like the bigger, the better. And so for some reason, this is not enough for her. So she wants to sell it, build a second one where she's going to live with her kids. And she's always traveling to Kenya, probably a few times a year. She was just in Kenya last summer. And so if you're one of those people who is interested in this kind of a thing, feel free to contact me and then we can talk. And as I mentioned earlier, look at that swing set for kids. Personally, this is one of the things that has made me consider shipping stuff, because I've always wanted to build a swing set for my kids, but the ones I've seen in Kenya are usually very low quality. And so this one here, she just imported, packed it, and then sent it to Kenya, and then got a local guy to put it together. So this is actually the gazebo I was mentioning earlier. That is so well done. It's really huge, has a fireplace, has a seating area that probably could sit anywhere from maybe, I would say, 15 to 30 people, probably even more, depending on the seating arrangement in there. So yes, this property is up for sales, and this could be yours if so desired. So if you're interested, feel free to let me know. I'll post my email. Unfortunately, sometimes folks send me emails and I don't get them, either because the emails go to spam or something goes wrong. So if you email me and you don't hear from me within 4 days, please come back and comment on the comment section. I'll be able to see it. Thank you, folks, and I will see you in the next. Bye.